you seen this crest before?
Of course.
This is a miracle. I have found the son of my master. Your quest is now my quest too.
We don't know anything about you.
Firing an arrow is hardly what I'd call impressive.
Literally the first time I've ever done it.
How's it going, everybody? Today I'm reviewing a film that came out a couple weeks ago, Kubo and the Two Strings. This is the latest animation film from Laika. They do a lot of stop motion stuff like Paranorman, Coraline, Box Trolls, a lot of the stop motion stuff, and I honestly haven't seen a whole lot of those movies. I've seen Paranorman, I haven't actually seen the others, so shame on me. I'm kind of going to be vague on the description, but basically the movie is about Kubo, who sets out on an adventure after a tragedy to find this set of armor, a helmet, a breastplate, and a sword. Basically, he's got to find these things on this adventure, and he teams up with Beetle and Monkey in order to do this, and our adventure ensues. I'm going to kind of be vague, like I said, there's a lot going on here, and I'm just going to give you the bare gist of it. So I had heard such great things about this movie, so I was curious to see how that holds up on a viewing, just knowing that, and it held up. It held up on every end of it. First, little disclaimer, don't bring your young kids to this one. There's a lot of frightening imagery in this one, and I was like, I'm surprised there's not more kids crying in my theater, because there is some scary imagery and some really tough subject matter. There's a lot of emotion behind a lot of the stuff that goes on, especially at the beginning of the film and even near the end as well. There's just a lot of emotional moments that I don't think kids will appreciate as much as an adult will. But let's start with what I really enjoyed about the movie, and it's just the adventure, the originality of this movie, the fact that Kubo, he plays the guitar, and these things start happening. He's a storyteller, basically, and you see that at the beginning of the movie where he's basically has these paper mache figures, and he can make them do stuff when he plays the guitar, tells a story, this crazy story about this warrior and stuff like that, and it's really cool. It's very interesting. The animation looks great for stop motion. It adds a ruggedness and a roughness to it that I really appreciated, and just the whole story, the adventure, and the humor that is actually sprinkled throughout, especially from Beetle. He's really funny, voiced by Matthew McConaughey. It's just some good humor that's sprinkled throughout it for a more serious animated film. Also, you really learn to get behind Kubo and the stuff that he's gone through and what he does and doesn't know, and there is a few twists and turns in this movie that are you might see coming, but if you do, like, they still pay off, and it's just a strong animated film, and in my opinion, the best animated film of the year, beating out Zootopia and Finding Dory, and Secret Life of Pets. Secret Life of Pets I wasn't the biggest fan of, but for me, this is the best one, and the one that should have the edge going into the Oscars so far. We have Moana coming out later this year from Disney. We'll see what that brings to the table, but right now, this is by far my favorite of the year, in my top 5 probably of the year as well, overall movies. It's just a fantastic adventure film, very original. There's a lot of greatness in it. Just the adventure and the use of magic and mysticism really works for the film. Again, there's some frightening imagery in it that is great. And again, just seeing Kubo interact with both Monkey, who's kind of this more serious monkey, voiced by Charlize Theron, and she's really great in it as well. You kind of get to see how she's kind of like this, like, just stubborn, like, we got to get the job done, that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do, and you have Beetle plays off that as the more jokester, fun-loving one, and they really have a great chemistry throughout. And again, also, the voice actor who voices Kubo, who is, if you watch Game of Thrones, Rickon Stark, he's great in it as well. I feel like he was voiced like a while ago, because I feel like his voice had dropped when we last saw him in Game of Thrones last season, so I was a little like, oh, he's younger in this one. But like I said, solid movie. Really recommend you check it out. Again, this movie is more for adults, I feel, than kids. There is some kid humor in it, like here and there, but again, it's a lot. I feel like it's geared towards adults. And again, the stop motion animation, I'm not like the giant fan of stop motion, but this was fantastic. So with all that said, I give Kubo and the Two Strings a movie rating of a 9.5 out of 10. This thing is fantastic. Check this one out if you haven't yet. It deserves your money. The Laika movies don't make a whole lot of money, so really go check this out. It needs all the support it can get. As for my enjoyment rating, I also give that a 9.5 out of 10. This thing is fantastic. It's fantastic, start to finish. Not too many complaints here and there. Like, I don't know, maybe it's slow, a couple parts maybe through the middle, but like other than that, the action scenes are great as well. I forgot to mention that. The action's phenomenal in this as well. So anyways, let me know if you've seen Kubo and the Two Strings in the comment section below, what you thought of the film as well. Again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos each and every week. That is it, and I will talk to y'all later.